Welcome to Prism Communications presentation on how to conduct internet strategy and integrate that with tactics. So Prism Communications, we believe that strategy is the key to internet marketing, whereas most internet marketing consultants or business owners only know a few things about certain tactics on the internet. So if you know a lot about search engine optimization or pay-per-click marketing, chances are you probably haven't had time to gain expertise in a whole field of other forms of marketing, including email marketing, social media, and other skills that are needed to be successful marketing online. So Prism, we've created a strategic framework: attract, convert, and relate, which we use to organize all of the various tactics out there for conducting internet marketing. Like I said, internet marketing tactics are specific skills that you need to be successful online. For example, search engine optimization, which helps you get to the top of search engines like Google or Bing or Yahoo, is one critical marketing tactic that a lot of people know is important. Search engine marketing, which is paid search, pay-per-click ads, and Facebook ads, and banner ads, is another tactic. Website design, creating a website that actually works and is functional for a user. And then landing page design, which is a more specialized field of website design, which is created just for a specific audience that you want to speak to in a narrow message that's very focused. And then Facebook would be another tactic, which a lot of people specialize now in Facebook as it's growing. Twitter management and YouTube channel management. These are just some of the examples of internet marketing tactics. So here's the fundamental difference between internet marketing strategy versus tactics. Tactics win battles and strategy wins wars. So if you think in a military analogy, in Vietnam, for example, we like to say that the Americans never lost a battle, but we lost the war because we had the wrong strategy going into Vietnam, and it didn't matter if we won every single battle. When you lose the war, that's what really counts. So on the internet marketing side, you can think of this as winning all these little tactics or tactical battles, which would be getting to the top of Google for a certain keyword. Well, that might be a great tactical win, but if that keyword doesn't get you enough traffic and convert into enough sales, then you're still not going to win the overall fight that you need to win online. So strategy is choosing the right battle to fight at the right time to achieve a long-term objective. So your long-term objective is usually the same for almost everyone online, which is to make sales grow to a level where they can sustain your business and grow your business. So if you have a certain need, which might be search engine optimization, you need to figure out, is that really what you need in order to grow sales quickly? There might be something else that you're missing that could grow sales much quicker than spending 6 to 9 months investing a lot of time, money, and effort into improving your search engine optimization rankings. So Prism has developed a marketing strategy which is centered along the framework attract, convert, and relate. So we've divided up internet marketing into three fundamental functions. And this is really not just on internet marketing, but in any business, there's really only three ways to grow your business. The first way to grow your business, and the fundamental thing that you need to do, is attract traffic to your website in the first place, or you need to have people know about your business. And that's very important. And you can always grow the number of people that learn about your business or see your business. But that will only take you so far. So the next fundamental function of business and an online marketing strategy would be to convert traffic into leads. So you see, all the traffic in the world to your website is not worth anything if you're not able to sell people. And really, the first step to this is having a product that actually solves a real problem for your customers. And unfortunately, a lot of people create products that don't solve critical problems for the customers, and then they wonder why they're not able to convert their traffic into leads and customers. But let's assume that you do have a viable product that really meets a market need, and you're just having a hard time converting people. There are a number of things you can do online to better explain your product, better position it, get better brand awareness, and basically give people all the information they need to understand how your product will solve their problems. And then finally, there's relate. And this is something that a lot of people don't seem to understand in online marketing, is relating with the leads and customers that you get and turning them into lifetime customers. Because really, the easiest people to sell to are those people that have already bought your product, and assuming you have a good product, love your product, and will want to come back and get more of it if only you'd stay in touch with them and keep your company on their mind. This might be the easiest way for you to grow and sustain your online sales. So your long-term strategic objective is to develop an enduring online business that has a loyal customer base for life. So you see, online marketing is really the key to success for any business going into the future, because the migration from traditional media into digital media online, and that's television is now switching into YouTube, and radio is now switching onto Apple and Pandora, and other traditional marketing mediums are all switching online. And what you want to be able to do is sustain your business and all of your operating costs through direct sales, and then any other sales you have through channel partners or large suppliers who might be reselling your product. That's just additional profit. But you never, in my experience, want to rely solely on other people to sell your product, because if they decide, one large account decides to stop selling your product, then you could lose your business. So to develop an online marketing strategy that forms a rock solid foundation for your business financially, I believe, is a long-term strategic objective every business should be aiming for. So the first part of Prism Communications marketing strategy is attract. Now, attract, like I talked about, is the function of driving new traffic, new prospects, people who would have not heard about your business otherwise, and driving them to your website and making them aware of what you do. Now, if you think about a website, I think a little over a year ago, statistics said there were 75 million websites on the World Wide Web. And probably only about a third of those websites actually get any traffic. So two-thirds of the websites out there are doing nothing and just sitting there because people built them with this idea that people would actually come to their site. And building a website, the analogy I like to use is you're looking at an overhead photograph of the Amazon rainforest. Building a website is like going into the Amazon rainforest and painting a tree beautiful colors and putting signs all over it and making this amazing painted tree, and then you expect people to just find it. And if you think about that, that's really what's happening online, is people go out and they'll spend a lot of time and money developing a product and idea, and then they'll put it out there and no one will come to their website. So if you think about a website, you need to think of how to create paths to your website, how to create little paths which will allow people to walk past your site, and then how to grow those paths into road networks, and then super highways, which start to feed a lot of traffic over your site. And the large sites, if you could imagine, would be on the river there, where there's a lot of traffic going by them. That would be Amazon, Facebook, and the large sites on the internet that dominate most of the online traffic. And your goal is to get as close as possible using those sites and their already established road networks to divert some of it over to yours. So this is an outline of the approach Prism Communication takes with our clients and those that we consult with on how to attract people to your website. And really, it's a phased operation that you need to integrate completely. So we have, first of all, the first priority, the quickest and easiest way to get traffic to your website, although it costs money, is pay-per-click advertising. The next quickest and little bit less easy way to get almost immediate traffic to your website would be cost per acquisition marketing. And then optimized online press releases. And then finally, the ones that take a little bit more time, or a lot more time really, and effort, but can lead to your longest and most fruitful efforts in developing strategy, is search engine optimization. And that's getting ranked naturally in Google for the keywords that are important to your business, and more importantly, that are important to your clients, so that they know that you're out there. And then finally, I have email marketing, and I have that with a couple asterisks next to it, because email marketing is important not just for attract, but also for the other operations in an internet marketing strategy, which would be convert and relate. Email marketing is like the hidden glue that holds it all together, and really, I believe, is a foundation of a successful internet marketing strategy across all the different spectrums of internet marketing. It really ties it all together, and most businesses make almost no use of their email marketing potential, with sometimes very substantial email lists lying really unused and leaving a lot of money on the table. So pay-per-click advertising is hands down the quickest and easiest way to get traffic to your website. And it's also quite difficult and can be dangerous for many businesses who end up losing money online. You see, pay-per-click advertising is incredibly competitive. Just a few years ago, in a lot of industries, there were only a few companies using it, and they were able to make quite a bit of money, pay as little as 10 or 20 cents a click to get visits to their website. But that's the days of free or almost free paid traffic to your website are long gone, and most industries have reached an equilibrium point in pay-per-click advertising. Of course, when new products emerge, there's a short window where there's a lot of opportunity, but usually it gets very competitive very quickly, because more and more businesses are transitioning to online marketing as the foundation of their strategy, not just a sideshow that they give to someone in their marketing department. So the first and biggest source of paid traffic is Google AdWords, which dominates about 60 to 70% of the paid search networks. And then you have Yahoo and Bing, which actually are combined and run off of the same ad network. So that's about 30% of the total paid traffic that could be available to you. And on the Yahoo and Bing network, a lot of times you can get traffic for less of a cost than you'd have to pay on Google AdWords, because most pay-per-click managers know Google AdWords, but not as many of them know how to use a Yahoo and Bing search network. So there's actually some really good opportunities if you take a little bit of time to invest in operating on both networks, and you want to test both to see which one might be more profitable. Then you have the Microsoft network ad network, which is a banner ad network. Yahoo and Google also have banner ad networks. And finally, you have Facebook ads. And then there's a new field in pay-per-click advertising, which is called retargeting, where you can put pixels on your website that allow you to retarget traffic after they've left your website, or you can put a pixel on a partner's website, so guests who go to their website can also see ads for your website before they've even ever been to your website. So it's a very effective way of finding people who have a level of interest in either your product specifically or products in your industry, and getting some very highly qualified traffic for not a huge cost compared to what you would pay sometimes on the pay-per-click advertising networks, where you're bidding on specific keywords. The next form of growing traffic to your website is something that many internet marketing managers and business owners have never tried, and it's really a shame, because cost per acquisition marketing is, aside from paid search, the quickest way to get a lot of traffic to your website quickly. So this is where you go out and you find partners, where you pay them not for a visit to your website, but you just agree to pay them either for a free trial sign up on your website where someone gives you your email because emails are valuable to you, or you can just pay them for a purchase. And obviously you have to agree upon a price, and you have to set your price and your commission structure to the point where people are going to be incentivized to send traffic to your site. So if you have a $100 product and you're offering a $2 commission for people to get traffic to your site, chances are most people will not waste any time on that. Whereas if you offer a $25 commission, you're going to motivate a lot of people to send a lot of traffic to your site. The next way to form cost per acquisition marketing is through affiliate marketing, and this is where you go out to different people who are in your industry and you sign them up as joint venture partners, and you use some kind of software program like we use Infusionsoft, which is a highly customizable off-the-shelf marketing platform, which allows you to set up affiliate programs for people who sell your product. And you can go into Infusionsoft and actually create codes for people so that when they send traffic to your site, within 30 days, if someone comes back to your site and buys, you're still going to get credit for it. And this software is very important for people because they understand that they will get credit in your affiliate management system for traffic, even if people don't buy right when they go to your site and if they come back within a certain period of time. And then you also have some larger established cost per acquisition networks like Commission Junction, and many other sites out there offer some kind of pay-per performance advertising model where you can get a lot of people to your site pretty quickly. Now this is not a turnkey operation like paid traffic, because you actually have to go out and recruit and make agreements with people. But if you have someone who knows how to do this, a marketing company that's experienced in recruiting joint venture partners and serves as a broker for these deals with people that would be natural fits for you and your industry, it's relatively easy to do within a period of a couple of months. The next quickest way to get traffic to your website would be through optimized online press releases. And this is actually almost an immediate source of traffic to your website too, but the reason I put it down in the priority level is it's not usually going to get you the high volumes of traffic that you're going to get from paid search or cost per acquisition marketing if you do those properly. But it really is critical to growing your brand, to getting you some qualified traffic to your website, and more importantly, getting some media traffic to your website. And it also allows you to target high quality keywords in your online press releases. You can highlight keywords, point them back to pages on your site, and you'll get a wide and immediate reach based on your optimized online press releases. And this also ends up building your long-term clout score, which is your influence score on social media, as well as your search engine optimization value, which is the quality that Google counts your website based on the number of links and where those links come from based on a number of factors that are in the Google algorithm. And optimized online press releases are still well regarded by Google even after many of the updates in the online marketing world. And then the last but potentially most profitable form of traffic, which takes more and more time to develop, is search engine optimization. So search engine optimization is like the holy grail of internet marketing, and every website wishes that they were at the top of Google for a keyword, because then that traffic is, I like to say, free. But it's never free, because to get to the top of Google for a certain keyword, you're going to spend either a lot of money paying someone to help you get to that point, or B, you're going to spend a lot of your own time and sweat and hard work doing it yourself. And I hope all of you know, as business owners and marketing managers, that your time is money. And time spent on search engine optimization could be time that you spend on lining up marketing deals offline, or joint venture partners for cost per acquisition marketing, or writing blog posts or other things that could help you grow your business. So it really is a trade-off if you decide that you want to take all of this on yourself. And you also need to understand that rules are always changing for search engine optimization. So if you learned how to do SEO about a year or two ago, and you learned a few tricks such as article spinning and how to put articles on content sharing sites that point back to your site. If you did that, chances are in the last year, Google penalized you based on these tactics, because what Google went in and did was they determined which tactics they believed were creating artificial search results for their users that were giving their users lower quality sites. So Google's main goal, they do service businesses because they like you because you pay advertising fees, but their main goal, and the one that is a foundation of their business, is to serve their customer. And their customer is not necessarily businesses. It's really about the search, the millions of people who use Google every day to search for things that they need, because those are the people that create their large user base and their market value, so they can turn around and charge the businesses, which is you, a lot of money for ads. So if you type in Chinese restaurants in New York City and an Italian restaurant comes up in the #2 spot in Google, clients are going to get upset and they're going to go check out Bing or other search engines. So you always have to understand that gaming the system in search engine optimization as a long-term strategy is going to come back to haunt you. Even if it might get you a short-term bump in traffic, it's just not worth it, and you might as well go use that money and time on some other strategy which will work better anyway. Then the next point about search engine optimization is quality backlinks are constants. If the New York Times writes an article about your business saying that New York Chinese restaurants, you're the best one out there, and they have a link to your site, Google's always going to give that value, no matter what the different rules are in backlinks and how they weight it. If you have a high quality site that gives you real credibility, and it's not only going to give you rankings with Google, but it's also going to get you a lot of traffic. So you want to focus on creating high quality links on the web, because Google just looks at which sites everyone's pointing to and where to go to send people in terms of a credible site in your industry. And then finally, social media is increasingly important. Google has launched the Google Plus network, which some people view as a competitor to Facebook, but really that is Google's way of helping you, when you're signed into your account, get more accurate and personalized results. Because if you've done something before and you allow Google to record your information, they're going to start to build up a track record for you. And really the only reason they're doing that is to give you the results that you want before you even know that that's the results that you're looking for. There's some highly targeted search engine optimization efforts going on by Google so that they can continue to give you more and more relevant answers to the questions that you're asking. And finally, email marketing is one of the keys to driving traffic to your site. It amazes me when I look at clients who have large email lists and they never email their email list, which is usually consisting of people who've taken an action to get on that list voluntarily, because the laws say that you have to opt into an email list. You can't just go collect them. So what you do is you get someone to buy your product, and then you're afraid to talk to them because you don't want to be bothered by them. Well, they bought your product, so you should remind them of future opportunities to buy your product. And if you have a list of any number of people, the first thing you should do when you want to grow traffic is get your email marketing strategy right. Now, if you don't have a large email list, obviously you need to go to other sources of traffic. But you can also go out and target affiliate and purchased email lists. And what I mean by this is you can't just buy a list of emails, but you can go to someone and pay for access to their list, where they would mail out a link to your website where you would offer some kind of free report, and then people would opt into your list, and that's how you build your own list. And then you could go to affiliates in your industry and offer a trade where you'll email your list about their products if they email their list about your products, and build some targeted email lists based on reciprocal trades of relationships. Because if someone's bought a like product, or even product from a competitor, chances are they're very likely to buy your product too. So if you work together instead of against each other, both companies can benefit from something like that. And finally, you can target company email list, your company email list, to drive traffic as you build it. So you first of all will focus on building that email list, but then You want to continuously come back to that list and drive traffic back to your website from people who've already been there. The second part to the Prism online marketing strategy framework is the operation I call convert. Now, convert is a very interesting part of internet marketing because, as you see on the screen there, my favorite kind of soup, tomato soup, and a fork inside of it is really the best analogy I can think of for website traffic today. Most people, statistically, 99% of people who come to a website are going to leave that website without doing anything, meaning they'll take a look at your site, they'll browse around, they might even read some blog posts, but 99% of them will leave without ever emailing you or calling you or let alone making a purchase. Now that's a shame. That's a tragedy if you're a website owner to spend all that time and money and to only get 1% of the people to do anything on your website. And statistically, that's what happens. Most e-commerce sites, according to Google statistics, the average conversion rate for an e-commerce site is 2.5%. But that's when you take into account the big sites that really know what they're doing, which is Amazon and Zappos and the big online retailers, which have conversion rates of up to 15% sometimes during different promotional periods. And they really skew the overall statistics for the entire internet marketing world. But most sites have about a 1% conversion rate when you take out the top sites that really, really know what they're doing. And the reason they have that low of a conversion rate is because only 10% of sites in the world test anything on their website. They do conversion rate optimization. So that leaves the other 90%, which are the ones that have the 1% conversion rate, doing nothing to their website. So it's any wonder that the large internet companies all have one thing in common, which is they all do religious, fanatical conversion rate optimization, testing and implementation on their websites. So a convert strategy is a bit more involved and complicated than most parts of the internet marketing strategy, and that's why a lot of people shy away from it. It's a tremendous investment in time, money, and expertise to get this strategy right. But I'm going to go through how it's done and also try and show you that it can be done for a lot less money than you think it can. It's not just for the large sites anymore. There's a lot of tools out there which are designed to allow small and medium-sized businesses to run conversion rate optimization. The first thing we'll talk about is landing page design, which is a very specialized part of conversion rate optimization. Then website design and redesign, user testing, analytics and heat mapping, website testing and optimization, and then website speed optimization, website commercial production, and then finally, again, in asterisks, email marketing, which is the glue that holds together the entire internet marketing strategy. So first, we'll talk about website design and redesign. There's this phenomenon out there on the internet called user-learned behavior. So if you run a website that sells a regular product, you might not touch your website for 2 or 3 years and make any updates on it because you don't have time, you don't have money, and you're going to focus all of your time on search engine optimization now that you have a good website. Well, that, in my experience, is a mistake because if you don't touch your website, you're going to actually fall behind the arms race of what I call user-learned behavior. So an example of this is Amazon. Amazon, if you follow it, and most of us have Amazon accounts, they're constantly changing and updating their site. And if you've noticed, they've come up with one-click shopping now, which makes it ridiculously easy, almost scary to log into your account, easy to buy a product. And they're continually streamlining the process. So because all of us use Amazon, we start to get lazy and get used to that kind of ease of use when we're checking out. Same thing when you go to Expedia or other travel websites, the large ones that most people use. So then when you go back to a regular website of a small business owner who hasn't updated their site in 2 or 3 years, they've fallen farther and farther behind Amazon and the large sites which are constantly updating and innovating their websites. So you actually will lose ground. You can see your conversion rate drop on your site just because you fail to keep up with some of the innovations that are happening in online technology. Fixing a site is often harder than starting fresh. And above the fold content is critical. So if you've ever picked up a newspaper, you have two parts of it. One is a place they call above the fold, which is where it lays down folded, and then underneath it, when you flip it over, that's what it's called below the fold content. Newspapers always put the best content above the fold, and everything else goes below the fold. And then after that, anything off the front page really is inconsequential news in their mind. But they always try and lead with the best headlines, the best photos above the fold so that they can get people to actually pick up the newspaper and buy it. And the same thing happens on the internet. A website, typically you have to scroll down to see the whole page. Well, most companies understand now, the ones that are testing, that above the fold content is really the most critical part, because if people land on your website, they don't like what they see, they're not going to scroll, they're just going to immediately hit the back button, or they're going to type in another website into the browser and leave. So above the fold content is really critical, and you should take a look at everything that you have on your site. Do you have a book now button? Do you have some kind of call to action where people can give you their email address? Do you have a phone number? Are they all above the fold? And you always want to look at that, because if you make small changes, you can have a big impact in the above the fold area on your website. Simple is better. A lot of people like to design websites for themselves like it's a beauty contest. Well, most people, when they go to a website, they just want to get it done. They do not want gorgeous Flash, which is why Apple has recently taken Flash out of their platforms which they support, and has killed Flash websites in the process. So if you have a Flash website, you really should invest in a redesign very quickly, because no one can see it on their iPhones or iPads. And then finally, quality and credibility indicators. On your website, you really need to show that you're a business, a real business that has real credibility. So if you have press releases, if you have testimonials, if you have other trade associations that you can put on your website that you're a member of, that people, your clients, would understand, those are all really critical. So the next part of or website optimization is landing page design, and this is micro-targeting. Simple pages to drive action. So if you're sending out an email to a list, a lot of times it's not good to send them to your homepage. In fact, most times what you're going to want to do is design a very simple landing page which gives them as few options as possible, aside from the option that you want them to take. So you take away the top navigation bar, you take away a lot of the extraneous stuff that you put on your storefront on your homepage, because that needs to speak to a wider audience, and you narrowly target this landing page for the specific audience. So if you're emailing a list that has a certain common thread through it, you write to that list based on what they're interested in. If you're doing an AdWords campaign and you have a bucket of AdWords, group of AdWords that's focused on a certain segment of your industry, you would actually write the landing page to include the AdWords, the keywords that you're targeting, so that when people come to your site, they see the same keywords that they typed when they went into Google. So that is really highly targeted marketing, which will increase your return on investment on your advertising efforts. Sometimes you can up to double your efforts just by creating better landing pages which will inspire action. And then you can match your banner and text ads with your landing pages. So if you have a graphic banner ad, you want to make sure that it looks visually like the landing page that people go to, so they have continuity. And then finally, the thing to remember, just like in website design, is simple is better. You really want to make your landing pages as easy as possible for people to follow, and really drive them to that one action that you want them to take. User testing. So most of us do user testing by asking our mother and our friends what they think of our website. And no one likes to tell someone they have an ugly baby. It's just not something you do. And your website is like your baby, because you created it, and no one's who's friends with you is going to tell you what they really think of it. And a lot of times they don't have expertise anyway, so they might think it looks great genuinely, but they don't really have expertise. So you need to go and find, and you can do this usually for as little as $40 a session, go find a user who's independent, who's in front of a computer screen, and will videotape their entire session on your site, and they'll talk as they're going through the site, and you can define the goals that you want them to take on your site, and then you take that feedback, and they might have a lot of critical items for your website, and they also might tell you what they really like about your website, and it will reinforce the good things that you've done and cover potential challenges that you have on your site that if you would just spend a little bit of time and effort solving, you could have a much higher conversion rate on your site. So user testing is something a lot of people are scared to do because they don't want to hear negative feedback, but it's critical, and you really need to get over your own pride and just invest in user testing. So user testing is great, but it only goes so far because even a user sometimes doesn't know what they really want. They might tell you one thing, but their actions will do something very different. So the way to balance user testing is to install Google Analytics and heat mapping. And these two technologies really help you to see yourself. And Google Analytics is an amazing tool, and it's free, and it's something Google provides all of their business owners or website owners so that you can better serve Google's customers. And it's a very self-serving piece of technology for Google, because if Google sends people to websites that they don't like, even if they're relevant but people don't take action on them, Google sees that as a problem because they want more and more people to find something and actually take action on websites. They actually are looking out for your best interests because it's in their clients' best interest to solve their problems. But Google Analytics is something, when I talk to business owners, half of them don't even have it installed. And of the half that do have it installed, most of them have trouble with their password. They don't know it, or they haven't looked at it in a couple of months. So even if you have it installed and you're not using it, then really it's just, you might as well not have it installed. And it matches up to the rule that 90% of businesses do not test their website. So the 10% that do usually follow analytics religiously, and the rest of them don't look at it because they're scared, they're intimidated by it, or they know that they're just overwhelmed and they don't have time to figure it out. So in Google Analytics, you can set up goals like a shopping cart checkout or someone signing up for an email. And then you can even set up funnels, which is a series of goals where you track people from the home page to your product page through the 2 or 3 pages in your shopping cart process. And that's called a funnel, where it narrows people down to one point where you want to track definitive action. And you can see where people are leaving the funnel and why. And Google will tell you which pages are most popular, how long people stay on certain pages, which page everyone exits the website from, which page people are coming into the website on. And they'll also show you the keywords that people are using to find you, or the traffic sources or referring sites that are driving traffic to your site. And then finally, heat mapping matches with analytics for analysis. There's heat mapping software out there which will record and give you a statistical sampling of where people's mouses are hovering on the site. And where people's mouses are is generally an indicator of where they're interested on your site. And that's a way for you to see what parts of your sites are good and what parts you might need to move around or change the color or maybe change the copy based on the goals that you want your clients to take. You can also use heat mapping software to record visits to people on the site, and this way you can view their entire visit and see where their mouse is clicking, where they're pausing, where they're leaving, and you can really get an amazing amount of information just by watching someone and what they do on their site. When they say how they feel, a lot of times it's very different than how they actually act on your site. So now you're ready to actually start testing on your website. And before you get to testing, you should do user testing, you should install analytics, you should install heat mapping, and then finally you can come up with a plan. Just like anything, testing needs to have a real strategy. You can't just go out and test something that's not important. And when you look at a funnel, you really want to start at the top and work your way down. So after you develop a test plan, typically the test plan is going to focus on the top level of the funnel, which is your overall site bounce rate. So the bounce rate is the number of people who come to your site and leave without taking any further action. So they might come to your homepage and stay for anywhere between 5 seconds and 30 seconds and then leave. Typically, sites have a bounce rate of as high as 70%, which is 2 out of 3 visitors will leave without doing anything, or as low as 30%, which is actually really good, which means that only 1 out of 3 leave without taking some kind of action. So after you get people to realize that you're a credible brand and that you have something interesting for them, then you convert them into the next part of the funnel, which are browsers. Now this might be, if you're an information site, it might be reading further blog posts, or if you're selling products online, it's probably going to be product pages where people can go window shopping on your site. Then after that, you convert people. If you do convert 30 to 60% of these people to browsers, then the next part is early waivers. And this is people who go onto your site and then they click on the product page, and then they might click into more information or even begin the checkout process. And at this point, they might have doubts about your credibility, about your customer satisfaction, or any number of things. And then finally, you have your late waivers, which are people who are really serious about buying. They've overcome their early objections based on quality, and now they're probably hung up on a little detail like you don't accept the type of credit card that they want to use, or they don't understand something on the checkout page, or there's some field that they don't want to fill out that they think is mandatory. And then finally, you have conversions. And conversion rates can go anywhere from 1 to 5%. But typically, if you invest in a long-term testing strategy, you can go from 1% to sometimes 2 or 3% conversion rate, all the way up to 5% in some cases, although that takes a lot of time and effort. And when you increase your conversion rate from 1 to 2%, that's a 100% increase in sales with the same amount of traffic, which can make a day and night difference between your business's online performance. And then you can go use that money to go get more traffic because you know that it's going to convert at a higher rate. So speed testing and optimization. Speed testing is the silent killer, or sorry, website speed is the silent killer on the web of websites. The standard load time goal for any site is actually should be 3 to 5 seconds. And in fact, most major sites have a goal of 2 to 3 seconds or less to load their site. And if you see the site here, the first view is 10 seconds, and the repeat view of the site is 4 seconds. Now, after speed optimization, the site is now down to 5 seconds and a repeat view of 1 second on their speed load time. But you see this website analysis of their site shows you at that time how slow their site was loading, and more importantly, what elements on their site were causing them to load that slowly. Every second costs you visitors. Studies show that for every 1 second you can have for every 1 second past 3 seconds on your site that it takes to load, you start to get people annoyed or impatient, and you can have an appreciable drop in your conversion rate. And this is usually something on e-commerce sites that's critically important throughout the funnel. Programming protocols is one way to fix the speed of loading on your website, and then also there's some advanced software protocols which, as soon as you've reached the limits of your site in terms of reformatting the programming, you can get some advanced software that allows you to deliver all of that programming package in a more integrated way to increase your loading speed. And most major sites have advanced software tools that are proprietary speed optimization that they put on their website, and that's why they're able to load so fast compared to most smaller sites. And finally, website videos. Website videos typically can have an average of a 9% improvement in conversion rate, and this is just simple videos where someone gets up and talks and delivers their message in a video format rather than print format. Now, this is not constant. Some people prefer to read, depending on the industry. If people are very busy, they might not prefer videos. So this needs to be tested. But typically in a lot of industries, people are lazy and they're used to watching television commercials and they like commercials and they don't mind if your commercial's not beautiful and perfectly polished because it's a web and they're used to seeing that kind of stuff on YouTube and websites. Simple works. This is not the same as television. And more importantly, you need to make your videos easily translatable to mobile devices because more and more of traffic on the web is now going through iPhones, iPads, and the Google Droid equivalents on Samsung and those other devices that are coming out. The tablets and the mobile devices are the future of computing, and you need to start developing your websites and your videos to cater to that audience. And then finally, our favorite again, email marketing in the convert part of the internet marketing strategy. You need to target your company email list with a coordinated campaign. The average open rate for emails across the board is 15%, but if you write your emails well and you test them, you hire a good email copywriter because the subject line is critically important to getting your emails open, you can get your conversion rate up to 30 or 40% or higher if you build a great relationship with your list. But email marketing is about a constant relationship with your list and providing them not just with opportunities to buy your product, but with free, great content that people appreciate, which will make them more receptive to your sales message. And you need to do constant testing of email campaigns to drive conversions. And many times it might take 2, 3, 4, 5 emails to get people on your list to actually come back to your site and buy. But they will appreciate it if you do it right. So the last leg of the stool for the Prism internet marketing framework is the operation I call Relate. And Relate is all about establishing lifetime relationships with your clients or your potential clients on the web. Now, these 4 pictures are very different. You have a doctor on the top left, you have a shoe salesman on the top right, obviously a local shoe salesman, and then on the bottom you have 2 of the biggest companies on the web, which is Zappos and the late Steve Jobs of Apple. But they all have something in common, which is they create fantastic relationships with their clients, and they don't just have customers, they have raving fans. Now, if you look at the doctor or the shoe salesman, they really have no choice but to develop relationships with people. That's their sales strategy. They don't have a marketing budget. They survive off of people believing that they're not trying to sell them something, that those people are actually trying to help them. No one goes to their doctor thinking that their doctor is selling them stuff, even though doctors make money off of you, and you should know that. They believe, and hopefully it's correct, that your doctor has your best interests in mind because doctors have this code of ethics and Hippocratic oath, which they are supposed to be following. And you just trust that they're not going to sell you medication just for the profit, but it's something that you really need. The same thing goes with the shoe salesman. The shoe salesman or the really successful local insurance salesman or waitress in a coffee shop, a lot of people just go to them because they like being served by them and they want to help them, and they believe that this person is not going to make them buy a pair of shoes that don't look good on them, that they really don't need. So companies of all sizes can do this. And the reason I highlight the smallest businesses and the largest business here is no matter what the size of your company is, relationships are important. Apple figured it out. And they've developed a cult-like following of people who cannot wait for the next release of the iPhone. And then also Zappos. Zappos offers free shipping for a year where people can buy as many shoes as they want and they can ship them back anytime in the next year for free. They also have 24-hour phone customer service that they take pride in the fact that they actually answer the phone when many web companies like to avoid phone calls. Zappos actually encourages them. They have no time limit on how long people can stay on the phone. They have no sales quotas. Their goal is about service to the customer. And if that means talking to someone for an hour about shoes, then they're going to do that because they're not about numbers as much as they are about building a relationship. And that's why Zappos is a phenomenally successful and profitable company. So this ties into the Relate strategy, which really boils down to social media on the internet. And most people like to look at social media as a way to make money. And I'm going to propose to you that you really shouldn't try to make money off of social media. You should try to build a relationship with people on social media. And I'm not saying to do it out of the goodness of your own heart. If you build a relationship with people and you really care about them, I've experienced, and I believe you'll find, that you will be rewarded a lot more in the long run by actually caring and providing value to your customers in a relationship rather than always trying to sell them something. So a Relate strategy is really an integrated social media strategy that focuses on the principle of using social media for what the local shoe salesman and the local doctor and some of the biggest companies in the world have done, which is using it to develop relationships. So first of all, listening to your audience. The foundation of any good relationship is listening. Most men don't seem to understand that, as women will say, but listening really is the first part of a great relationship. And then Twitter is the next part we'll talk about. Then how to become a trusted authority, developing a YouTube channel, your website blog, your Facebook, your LinkedIn, webinars and podcasts, and then finally my favorite, ever-present foundation of a unified internet marketing strategy is email marketing. So the first thing you need to do is listen to the conversation. And that's a woman there telling us to listen better. And really, most of us, when we create a product, we're so excited about our business and our product, and rightfully so, because we believe in what we're doing, that we go out and we talk, but we don't listen. And the foundation of any social media strategy is 2/3 listening, meaning spend 2/3 of your time listening and reading what other people are saying, and then instead of just shooting from the hip, join the conversation in a really informed manner. So some tools to do that is set up a Google Reader account, and you can subscribe to all the different articles on there that are relevant to your client base, and then you can look at those and use that to inform your conversation with the marketplace. And then other tools like Market Me Suite or Hootsuite or some other social media management allow you to efficiently manage and watch what's going on out there, what people are saying on Twitter, what people are saying about your brand. And this requires constant monitoring. This is not a part-time job. This is a full-time job that social media professionals need to do. So the next part is Twitter. Twitter is the perfect way to join the conversation. It's a customer service tool. And you can use Twitter a lot. No one minds if you send out 8 to 12 tweets a day. People go on Twitter to read tweets. It's not like their email box. They can just ignore Twitter for a while if they're tired of it. But people need to go in their email box and check their mail. So you have to be a lot more careful on email and Facebook, which we'll talk about later, than you do on Twitter. Twitter's a place where people expect conversation. It's a very chatty network. So focus on educating first. When you do Twitter, we recommend 8 to 12 tweets a day to your audience, but most of them should be focused on educating, where you provide them content that other people have written or that you've written that is really good and they will appreciate. Because if all you do is tell people 8 or 10 times to buy your stuff, they're going to stop following you and they're going to block you. And then you can use Twitter once you've provided great content for people to publish specials and promotion. And if people trust you and they appreciate what you're doing on Twitter, they will not mind at all when you promote your product. The next part to social media and building relationships is becoming a trusted authority. Now, this is an area of internet marketing that has changed a lot. Squidoo, Hub Pages, Easy Articles, and a bunch of other content sites used to be a foundation of a successful search engine optimization strategy. And that's no longer the case. Google, in their latest round of Panda and Penguin updates, really punished the value of articles from Easy Articles, Hub Pages, and Squidoo. And all these sites are places where you put articles that people would really want to read about your topic. They're very educational. They should be well researched. And it's where you get your name out there as an author or an expert in your field. Now, although there's not nearly as much value from a traffic and social search engine optimization perspective now, it's still something that you can do before you even have a website, or in addition to your own website, you can do this to get your name out there. The more you write, the more you publish, the more people are going to understand that you're an expert in your field, and it can't do anything but help you in building your brand awareness and your own personal status as an expert. This requires constant content production. A lot of business owners don't have time for it. You can outsource production of articles, or you just make time for it as a business owner, or have someone on your team full time who just focuses on producing content. Because Google now is rewarding content more than ever because they're getting better at finding out what's bad content and what's good content. And then finally, you're going to want to answer all the comments and questions that people post on your articles. And that's also true on your blog, which we'll talk about shortly. The YouTube channel is critical to gaining an audience and developing a close, personal, trusting relationship with your audience. Video is one step closer to being face-to-face with someone. In fact, on your mobile device, it's a lot more personal when you have it very close to you, like you do your laptop and your phone, than it is watching someone on television. So YouTube videos of someone talking to you is a very personal thing, and there's a great value, even if you're just doing a screencast video like this one, which I'm doing. There's great value in providing video content to people, because again, people are lazy and they don't like to read when they could just sit back and watch and listen and get the same information. Production quality should be low. Do not overproduce your YouTube channel. Grainy and authentic works great. You can just hold up your iPhone, record yourself talking for a few minutes about what's on your mind, and then immediately upload it from your iPhone or your smartphone onto YouTube. It's that easy now to create great content. Do not overcomplicate creating content. You can also do screen capture videos like I'm doing and just talk and demonstrate your expertise and show some slides that illustrate your point, and it's very, very effective, as in you're still watching my broadcast, right? And then finally, create interaction with customers through contests. Make contests on YouTube, create interaction, invite things that will go viral. Make your YouTube interesting. You can have people submit videos and reward them for submitting great videos to your channel. There's a ton of ways to make your YouTube channel interesting and relevant for your audience. The next part of a successful social media strategy and a search engine optimization strategy is your website blog. Website blog is critical, and Google updates have given a lot more importance to sites and the content they create on their sites when it ranks search engines. They've decreased the importance of links and increased the importance of content on your own site. So if you do not have a blog installed on your site, you must get one. It is the official voice of the company. This is the mouthpiece of the company. It's like an online magazine. It can be it's a coordinated campaign for blog content. When you do blogs, this should be written by someone very high level in your company. It should not be outsourced. It should all be great content because it represents your brand, and it's very closely associated with your brand. So if you have bad content on your blog, you're going to have a problem. And finally, this takes a lot of effort, high quality writing, and make sure you edit it properly. Facebook. So Facebook is a critical part of the online marketing strategy. This is where you build real relationships with people. I like to think of Facebook as someone going to dinner with their family. No one likes to be called while they're at dinner with their family with someone trying to sell them stuff. Well, the same thing is true with Facebook. No one goes to their Facebook activity feed or their wall and wants to see someone post an ad on their Facebook feed. It's interrupting what people are on Facebook to do. Now, on the side of Facebook, you have banner ads and paid ads, which you can pay for. And people understand that, and they accept that while they're on Facebook, there's going to be ads off to the side. And that's a good place to use Facebook. But what you want to use your Facebook page is for building relationships with people, because the more fans you have on Facebook, the cheaper your ad costs are. And Facebook's trying to reward you for being popular. The more fans you have on Facebook, the more people just know about you. And really what you want to do is just provide great content on Facebook for to grow your audience, because as you grow your audience on Facebook, there's a lot of advertising benefits that you can use with Facebook without trying to sell people directly on your page. Do not do that. That is a great way to get blacklisted on Facebook by a lot of people. They will just immediately stop following you and you'll never be able to reach them again. When if you wouldn't have tried to sell them, they could be a long-term potential relationship that you're building. And then finally, you want to create contests on Facebook for brand building. There's a lot of great things you can do on Facebook that will make things go viral. And it's a great platform. If you write a great article or a great blog post or you do something of value that's very interesting, Facebook is the perfect platform, the biggest social network in the world, to get it out there. So LinkedIn is one of the most underutilized parts of company business strategy. So most companies fail to maintain or create a LinkedIn page. We've met with some very large clients, multi-million-dollar marketing companies, and other companies that do not even have a LinkedIn page. And if you think about LinkedIn, it's the perfect place to develop affiliate relationships. So people who could sell your product for you if you set up a trade industry group, or if you have B2B sales opportunities in your business, you could create a group for the type of business that you're trying to sell your product to. And by providing great content and bringing everyone together and moderating it and really organizing kind of a trade association online, you become the kingmaker in that industry. And if no one's done it in your group, go ahead and do it. Be the first one and really use LinkedIn, which is an amazing platform for internet marketing. It's also a great place to find future employees. If you're looking for someone, chances are LinkedIn is the best place to find it these days. And it's just a really powerful engine that a lot of businesses do not use. And finally, one of the most misunderstood and underutilized parts of the internet marketing world is interacting with your audience and taking it live, taking your interaction straight to your audience through webinars and podcasts, and really creating great content for your clients that will be valuable to your customers. So the radio talk shows has been a staple of advertising for a long time, and that you can build a similar kind of audience or following on the web. In fact, many radio stations now host on their websites and broadcast that way. So when you have an email list, the best way to get people to get to know you in a very personal way is to invite them to a webinar where you give a presentation like the one I'm giving right now, or you give a live video stream of you talking about something and teaching something. Or you could even just do a podcast and record it and then give it out away for free on iTunes, just to get people to understand, where you interview experts in your field, people that your customers really want to hear from. And there's a great way to use webinars also for advanced sales techniques, which we could talk about in another presentation on how to do product launches and other advanced sales on the internet. But this is really the holy grail of social media and relationship building, is getting your clients to the point where they spend time with you, an hour out of their busy day, listening to you on a webinar or a podcast, and really feeling like they know you on a personal level after they've done this with you. And then finally, the thing that ties it all together is email marketing. Email marketing is critical to attract, convert, and relate, which is the three pillars of a successful email or successful online marketing strategy. And relationship building is really done a lot through email. You want to educate your clients and you want to build relationships with your customers. 2/3 of emails at least should be content-based, meaning you do not sell anything on that email. You're just providing them something that is of value to them, and then they appreciate it, and next time you send an email, they're apt to open it. And then the next time you send it again, they're going to open it, and then you just let them gently know about an offer that you have. And at that point, because they appreciate it, they have goodwill towards you for all of the great content you've provided them, then they're going to be ready to buy something from you versus skeptical. Oh, this person is always just trying to push something on me. So email marketing has to be done well. It has to be formatted properly and tracked and measured and tested. And that's through all phases of email marketing. You need to do that. And then finally, um, ensure that your emails avoid unsubscribes. And if you have too many emails that upset people because you're trying to oversell your product without providing valuable information, or you're spamming, or maybe you sell your list to someone, you're gonna have a bunch of people unsubscribe. And if you get too many complaints, you can even have your email list shut down. So that concludes our discussion of internet marketing strategy, and the question now for you must be, where do you begin? All of you have different strengths and weaknesses in your business. Some are just starting and need to focus almost entirely on traffic, getting traffic to your website so you can test your product or test your website to see if it's actually working. Some of you have plenty of traffic, but you're having a hard time with sales because you're not converting the traffic into leads and customers. And then maybe some of you have great traffic and a pretty good website that's working well, and the easiest thing you could do to grow your business would be just to resell to people who've already given you their email or people who've already bought from you. And then that's the quickest way to increase in your revenue, and then you can reinvest that money in increasing your overall traffic through the attract strategies, or further increasing your conversion rate. But no matter where you are as a business, what you really need is find out your long-term strategic objective, which I've laid one out for you, which I think is a pretty good one, and also figure out where you think your real problems lie. And chances are you probably don't have the expertise to understand where your problems lie, and that's where Prism would be more than happy to provide you with a free 1-hour marketing consultation where we go over your attract, convert, and relate strategy and your situation right now, and then we figure out where you could best invest money to make an immediate impact on your web sales and provide you more money that you can reinvest in a broader based strategy to drive your online sales to reach your long-term strategic objective. So this is Sam from Prism Communications. Thank you for joining us on this webinar on internet marketing strategy, and I look forward to hearing from you and communicating with you more on future blogs and webinars by Prism Communications. Thank you.